So I'm sitting here after work, a work shift where I spent most of it crying and listening to music and checking out because it's the night before the election, before election day, and I'm angry and confused and frustrated and feeling a little hopeless, a little hopeful too, to be honest. But mostly I'm just feeling sad, and that sadness comes not because of which party is winning or what policies are coming to the surface, but because of the ways that we continue to dehumanize each other, in the ways that we continue to decide that only some people get to belong in this whole thing. And I started a grand reflection as a vision, very nebulous, that I didn't know what I was going to do with it, to be honest. I just knew I had to do something. There was this glimmer of a better world that was possible. And I was starting to understand that more and more. And just as I was starting to understand it was the 2016 election, which caused a lot of confusion for me. Quite a bit of shattering, I think, of worldviews, of things that I thought were a given, and they weren't. And part of the reason they got shattered is because other people didn't seem to feel shattered by it. Is kind of the ironic truth of it, is it seemed to make sense to others, the ways things played out. And that's what broke everything for me. And so I've spent the better part of the last 8 years trying to rebuild stuff from scratch and trying to understand what the world is really about, and how love really works, and what that takes and what that means, and can it be enough? And if it is enough, how do you play it out in the world, in a world where people don't think it's enough? And how do you find wisdom? How do you know how to move forward in such an uncertain and dangerous world? And I think that it's no accident that this feels like the perfect time to start this whole thing. On one hand, it seems very weird that I'm compelled to start a whole thing, that this would be my first video the night before an election. But on the other hand, I really feel like I think that's what I want out of this whole thing. Is I want it to feel uncertain. I don't want to get into a way where I feel certain about everything. Like I feel like I'm teaching everybody, or I'm on top of it, or I have all the answers, because I know that that's what kind of creates this distance to begin with. And it's not that I'm not going to explore things very deeply and in a nuanced way, and I'm not going to look for facts. I definitely am going to do all that, but it's not the end. It's the means to the end, and the end, the whole goal is to connect, is to bridge gaps and find ways to live out radical love and acceptance and care and trust that that's going to transform things, and learn how to fight for that. And learn how to retool our lives in a way that they can contribute to that in the world. So it's a pretty big endeavor. And there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of different lenses, a lot of different viewpoints, a lot of different understandings, everything from sociology to physics to history to psychology, storytelling especially, all sorts of fiction, sci-fi, fantasy, our TV shows, the books we read, the things we watch, the narratives that we inhabit. I think all of those are important, and that's some stuff I want to explore here. And some of you have probably heard me exploring this stuff before through my podcast, which I think had a lot of really good stuff there, but there was something kind of missing. And what was missing from that was a sense of embodiment, a sense of vulnerability, a sense of sorting it out, a sense of messiness, I guess. It's not that I didn't bring a genuine self, but I would like to be a lot more honest. I would like at the forefront to be like, I'm scared, I'm afraid, I don't know what this is. I feel weird about this answer that I seem to have come up with, or I am sitting with this unsettling truth, or those sort of things, because that's where the real meat of it is. That's where I think that's where we find a way forward, ironically. And so this podcast, I didn't want to wait until tomorrow to continue that vision, because that's where the podcast failed. This podcast that I had, I couldn't hold on to it after I started transitioning. So after I started taking hormones, I couldn't keep doing it. And I think that that's because it started to feel like posturing. It started to feel like I wasn't being honest with the doubts that I had. I wasn't being honest with the fears. I wasn't being honest with the uncertainties. And those need to be a part of it in order for us to find truth, I think. So I don't know what is going to come of this. I don't know. I like the idea of it being here in a video format rather than just audio, so that you can see my face, so that my emotions can come through, and so that I can, kind of hold myself in check, maybe, because I have to see myself in my phone screen right now as I'm recording this, and I have to be constantly reminded that I'm a physical body saying all this stuff, and I can't get stuck in my head. So I want that. I want the sense of my body, the sense of the danger that I feel viscerally if I feel like rights are being taken away. I want the relief that I feel when somebody sees me to be at the forefront. I want to be able to have a sense that this is not something abstract, but this is real, day to day, and like I said, embodied. And so a big piece of that is obviously the trans stuff, but I think by having it now at what kind of feels like an ending, but also a beginning, the day before elections, it also feels like a full circle, because this feels kind of similar to 2016. A lot of stuff where people just kept thinking it was going to go different, and it didn't. And I want to make sure everybody feels included too. I am speaking pretty strongly about how I think Donald Trump is not the way to go. But I believe that because, it's as simple as I don't think that his vision of the world allows for belonging for enough of us. And I think that we all deserve to feel like we belong, to feel like we're seen, to feel like our needs are taken care of, to feel like people are there for us, and to feel like we have a part in everything. Because we do, I think. I think that somebody like him can't change that. It's just going to make that more of a tragic story. So I would rather try to avert that if I can. And if I can't, I would rather hold true to that idea in a way that at least helps us that don't fit that vision to be able to find a way forward where we can still find meaning and joy in life, even if it does get harder. So that's kind of where I'm at with all this. I don't know when I'll post next, but I wanted to kick this off as sort of an intro thing. So if you listened this long, thank you. If you're here just as I uploaded it, thank you so much. What a beautiful thing for you to be here from the start, which means that hopefully I can hear from you and I can get some input from you, and we can find ways to incorporate whatever wisdom that you've earned along the way. And if you're coming in later, then wow, I feel really flattered. That means that you went back in time and you decided to start from the beginning, or you happen to find this at the beginning. And either way, I appreciate you for that. Thank you. I feel really flattered that you would want to take the time. So thank you, everybody, for listening in. And I think tomorrow the work begins, is kind of what I'm saying. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what we're going to do with it. But I think the uncertainty is a good place to start. So I'm going to sit here and let myself be sad for a little bit. Sad over the ways that we fall short of loving one another, fall short of the ways of including everybody, seeing everybody, understanding everybody, and finding a way for everybody to belong. We fall short on that so often. I fall short on that. I don't want to pretend like I've got it all figured out either, because I don't. But I want to. I want to figure it out. So that's what this journey's about. That's what a grand reflection is. It's about finding a way to reflect light in a beautiful manner. It's about contemplating, meditating on what matters most. And it's about having a good time with it, or more accurately, a joyful time. I want to try to figure out what we can do joyfully to resist these unfair structures and systems, while somehow still loving everybody involved in those systems as we try to liberate them into a better living, because they're worth it, just like we're worth it. So I know that sounds all nebulous, but I think I'll leave it there for now. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here for this inaugural video. And yeah, we'll be back soon. We'll see what happens, and we'll go forward with whatever does, as we always do. Okay, so I leave you with all my love. And as always, I'm an open book. Feel free to ask me questions, and feel free to challenge me in any way, or give me resources, or opt in for some sort of conversation if you want. I'm here for all of that. This is what is giving my life meaning. This is what I want to do with everything. So you're not imposing. You're not. And I'll meet you wherever you're at. Truly. I mean that. So whatever you want to do with that, contact me and we'll figure it out. Otherwise, till next time. Hopefully soon.